In 1900, when a group of imperial physicians were investigating water pollution, they surprisingly discovered a body in the well was the cause of the contamination. They discovered that the body belonged to Emperor Guangxu's beloved wife consort Zheng. She died in the well just outside Ningshou Palace at the age of only 25. According to palace maids who witnessed the body recovery process, the first thing brought up from the well was a torn bamboo mat, which was said to have wrapped her body. Her body was swollen, making it almost impossible to identify. Emperor Guangxu was not present during the retrieval process. It was said, however, that Emperor Guangxu often stayed at an old tent that Consort Zheng had used, signifying their deep emotional connection. There was always a rift between Empress Dowager Cixi and Consort Zheng. The animosity escalated when Zheng supported Emperor Guangxu's 100 Days reform, leading to her being resentfully confined by Cixi. As a result, many believed that Zheng was killed by the Empress Dowager Cixi. As for whether she fell into the well and drowned, and who the culprit was, there have been various speculations. Theory 1. Some theories suggest that Consort Zheng contracted smallpox. Out of desperation, Empress Dowager Cixi ordered her persecution. This theory is primarily derived from a source that was close to Cixi. When the Eight-Nation Alliance entered Beijing, the Empress Dowager Cixi changed into casual attire in her imperial garden. Various consorts and concubines arrived, and Emperor Guangxu joined in from Yintai, wearing a blue robe and a small hat. At that moment, Empress Dowager Cixi summoned Zheng to change her clothes and escape with them. Consort Zheng, who had been imprisoned for 3 years at this point, appeared disheveled and dressed in a qipao. Empress Dowager Cixi was furious and scolded her, saying, "You are still putting on airs to this critical moment. Can you survive when foreigners invade? Hurry up and change your clothes and leave." Consort Zheng replied, "Your Majesty, I contracted smallpox, and my legs are too weak. I really can't travel with you. Please let me take refuge with my family at home." Empress Dowager Cixi disagreed and insisted that they escape together. Zheng knelt on the ground and refused to go. This provided Empress Dowager Cixi with a pretext to throw Consort Zheng into the well, claiming that Zheng was too weak to escape, so she had to be dealt with rather than being captured as a last resort. Second theory. Another theory suggests that Empress Dowager Cixi ordered someone to kill Consort Zheng. During the Boxer Rebellion, the Eight-Nation Alliance was on the verge of entering Beijing. At that time, Zheng was still imprisoned. She sent a message through a palace maid to her sister, Consort Jing, urging her to find a way to keep the emperor in Beijing at all costs, to regain power and escape Empress Dowager Cixi's control. Unfortunately, the entrusted message ended up in the hands of palace eunuch Cui Yugui, who then reported it to Cixi. In a fit of anger, Cixi ordered Zheng to take her own life. When Zheng refused, Cui Yugui was asked to throw her into the well outside Ningshou Palace. Theory 3. The other theory proposes that Consort Zheng jumped into the well herself. According to memoir, What I Know About Empress Dowager Cixi, the author mentions that Empress Dowager Longyu once told the author's grandfather, "Many people say that I was jealous of Consort Zheng and reported her, which resulted in her death." When the Eight-Nation Alliance reached Beijing and there was no hope of victory, Cixi made a run for the west. The situation was extremely urgent, as no one knew what the invaders might do, whether they would burn down the Forbidden City as they did with the old summer palace. Due to limited space, only Empress Dowager Longyu, Emperor Guangxu, and Empress Dowager Cixi's niece, who was also the empress, could accompany her. Other relatives went to their family homes, and the consorts and concubines were no exception. Consort Zheng was deeply upset at the time and refused to obey Cixi's orders. She confronted Cixi, saying, "I'm Emperor Guangxu's wife, and I want to go with him. You are biased because the empress is your niece, so you are taking her with you. I request that you take me with you also." This put Cixi in a difficult position. Combined with the existing tension between Cixi and Consort Zheng, this confrontation did not go down well. Cixi turned pale with anger and trembling lips. Empress Dowager Longyu commented, "In the palace throughout the Qing dynasty's hundreds of years, no one has ever dared to confront the Empress Dowager like this, not even the emperor himself." As Cixi left in anger during her quarrel with Consort Zheng, but Zheng continued to reason with her as they approached a location not far from her residence. She had not given up and told Cixi, "I am Emperor Guangxu's wife, and I want to be with him. If we are not together, I would rather die, to live as a member of the royal family and die as a royal ghost." When Cixi heard about this, feeling the situation had escalated, so she said to Zheng, "If that's your wish, then go ahead." There was a well not far away at the time, and Zheng said, "In that case, I will jump." Consort Zheng was seen running straight away in anger. When the old queen heard the noise and realized Consort Zheng wasn't just saying it, she asked Cui Yugui to quickly pull Zheng out of the well, but it was already too late. Cixi at the time was too busy planning her own escape and survival, so she left the palace, leaving Zheng's body in the well until her return. Some sources believe that because both Cixi and Consort Zheng were dead, everything was arbitrarily assigned to Cixi. Empress Dowager Cixi actually liked Consort Zheng very much because she was very smart, talented, and beautiful. Cixi viewed Zheng as a younger version of herself. The death of Consort Zheng is undoubtedly one of the unsolved mysteries in the late Qing dynasty's palace.